Yo, this is Jay from Straight Smoke Gaming, and in today's video we're going to be doing the post-week 17 NFL Power Rankings. This is a series that we'll be doing pretty much every week. We pretty much just go through and rank all the teams based on how they played. We did not do last week just because, Orr was out of town with family. I was spending time with family. I also had to work Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, so I didn't get around to it. But we're back at it this week, and this is probably going to be the last week just because I don't want to rank people when backups are playing. So let's go ahead and get started with it. Starting at number 32, we got the New England Patriots. They dropped 4 spots. They've had 2 losses the past 2 weeks. This team's just not good. They're lacking serious talent. The coaching is bad. There's no offensive weapons for Drake May. This team's rough. They're definitely one of the worst. If you don't want to put them at 32, you got to keep them in that, highest they'll put them is 30. At 31, you got the Tennessee Titans. They dropped 1 spot. Similar to the Patriots, they both lost. The past 2 weeks. Similar, they don't got a lot of talent. The only difference is, I guess, is that the Titans, they don't have a quarterback, but I like the coach they have. Coach they have came from the Bengals last year. I think if you get him a quarterback of his choice, this team will be a lot better. I do like the coach. There's just a lot of skill issues with the Patriots and the Titans, making them the 2 worst teams in the league, in my opinion. At number 30, you got the New York Jets. They're bad. Don't get me wrong. They move up 1 spot, but they're bad. I mean, they won a game. They ended up splitting the past 2 weeks, losing 1, winning 1. And this team's bad. I think they would have been better off just not playing good and got the first overall pick, but they didn't do that. And then you got the Raiders. They're not a good team either, but they won the past 2 weeks, so we're going to move them up 3 spots. At number 28, you got the Cleveland Browns. They dropped 1 spot, 2 losses. This team's not good. There's a lot of issues with this team. There are some bright spots, though, especially like with Myles Garrett, and the coach is good. So Browns overall, they're sitting at 28. They need that top pick to get a good skill talent or a good quarterback. At 27, you got the Jacksonville Jaguars. They move up 1 spot. They lost 1 week and won the next. So overall, not bad. I mean, the Jags, they've been dealing with a lot of injuries. Reason I got him here is because they have Brian Thomas. That's a bright spot for the team. I got a good wide receiver to build around, and I think Trevor Lawrence is their guy. I'm not exactly sure, but overall, they're sitting at 27. And the Chicago Bears at 26. They're not going to move anywhere. The Bears, they lost the past 2 weeks. The main reason I have them here is because they kind of have the core of their team figured out. They got their quarterback. They're not missing that. They got a good receiving core with DJ Moore. They got a good defense. They just need a coach, and they just need offensive line and a running back, really, in my book. So that's why I got the Bears there. They're not good, but they're definitely in better situations than some of these other teams. The Jets, they're at 25. They dropped 1 spot. The whole Aaron Rodgers experience was just a fail. Quite honestly, I think if you get a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers, you'd be better. At 24, you got the Carolina Panthers. They move up 1 spot. They had a win and a loss in their 2 weeks. Overall, since Bryce Young got benched, he's been playing a lot better. That's why I got him sitting at 24. That's why I got him moving up 1, because the main knock on this team was the quarterback play. So if they have figured that out, they really kind of figured out all the problems then, in my opinion. At 32, you got the New Orleans Saints. They dropped 1 spot. They dropped the past 2 weeks. This team's been dealing with a ton of injuries between Chris Olave, Derek Carr, Rashid Shaheed done for the year. Overall, there are some good young pieces on this team. The 2 wide receivers, especially Shaheed and Olave, they just have a lot of cap problems and a lot of injury problems. They need to get a lot younger as well. So that's why they're sitting at 23, and that's why they dropped a spot. 22, you got the San Francisco 49ers. They dropped 1 spot. They lost the past 2 weeks. 49ers, they've just been dealing with a lot of injuries this year. I'm a Rams fan. I'm happy to see them struggle. Hate the 49ers. Always will. So, the 49ers just weren't good. Do I think they got a good roster when healthy? Yes, but there's just a lot of people that were getting hurt this year. 21, you got the Colts moving up 2 spots. The Colts, they won and lost the week. Main reason is Anthony Richardson played a lot better. Even when Joe Flacco started, the offense just looked a lot better in general. At 20, the Atlanta Falcons, that's exactly where they were. Last time I made one of these videos, they split winning 1 and losing 1. Michael Penix is now the starter. It seems like the team's rallying around him. You're getting a better run game. You're getting a better defense. But overall, Penix has, I believe, had 2 turnovers in the 2 games he started. So that's not an ideal start for him. At 19, Dallas Cowboys. That's exactly where they were last time I made one of these videos. The Cowboys, they've been dealing with a lot of injuries. CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott. Overall, they haven't played bad, though. They're really close to 500. They split winning one and losing one the past 2 weeks, so not bad. Not going to bump them down or move them up. At 18, you got the Arizona Cardinals. They dropped one spot. Cardinals have lost the past 2 weeks. There's some major talent issues, especially on the defense for this team, so that's something that they need to address here in the offseason. Overall, the offense is good. They're not playing that bad, to be honest with you. At 17, you got the Houston Texans. They dropped 4 spots. The Texans, not only have they been dealing with a lot of injuries, the offense has been struggling a ton. I mean, on Christmas Day, they only put up 2 points. That's a problem. So that's why they're sitting at 17. If you put up in a performance like that on Christmas Day, you're going to fall in the rankings. At 16, you got the Cincinnati Bengals. That's exactly where they were last week. Last video. They've won the past 2 weeks. I mean, they're playing good football. They're doing what they need to do to make playoffs. I just think it was a little bit too slow of a start. I mean, as of right now, they're not in the playoffs. They're playing for a chance at the playoffs. At 15, you got the Miami Dolphins. Same situation. They've won the past 2 weeks. They've been playing great football since Tua has came back. Same thing there. They're fighting for a playoff spot. That's why I got those two sitting where they do. At 14, Pittsburgh Steelers. One of the most epic collapses this year. We were putting the Steelers in the top 10. We were thinking they were good. And then they drop the last 2 games. They lose 3 spots in our rankings. They single-handedly sold the division. They had it wrapped up. They lost it to the Ravens. At 13, the Seattle Seahawks. Similar to the Steelers, another epic fail. I mean, they dropped 3 spots in our rankings. They won and lost. Yeah, they lost and won, so they split in their past 2 weeks. But this is a team that choked away the division to the 1-4 Rams who started the year. This team is not good. They're kind of overrated. So that's why they're sitting at 13. At number 12, you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They split the 2 weeks. We see a lot of that between these 2 weeks. We see a lot of teams splitting. So the Bucs, they split. They're going to stay exactly where they're at. Their team is good. They did have their fair share of injuries. But when this team's playing 100% healthy and all that, this team's good. And even without Chris Godwin, this team's still playing really well. At number 11, you have the Denver Broncos. They've dropped the past 2 weeks, so they're going to move three spots down. So not good for the Broncos. They're obviously trying to make playoffs. You can't keep losing, especially because at 10 you have the Chargers. They move up 8 spots. The Chargers are a guaranteed playoff team. They just put 40 points up on the Patriots. The Chargers, they're clicking on all cylinders right now. Ladd McConkey is really good. The run game is really good. Justin Herbert looking like a really good quarterback again. At 9, you got the Los Angeles Rams. They move up 5 spots. The Rams, they've won the past 2 weeks. Matt Stafford, I believe I've seen, is 9-1 in December since joining the Rams. I mean, this team's just good. I don't know what it is about Matt Stafford. We got a young team this year. They are normally slow starters, but they seem to figure it out in the end here in the stretch of the season. They made playoffs. At number 8, you got the Washington Commanders. They win the past 2 weeks, so they're going to move up 1 spot. And, I mean, honestly, if you wanted to justify moving them up more, I'd be okay with that. I just don't think any of these teams that are in front of them did anything to move back. But they did get a big win over the Philadelphia Eagles, so that's going to be important. Not enough to win the division, but I do believe the Eagles and Commanders are both playoff teams. At 7, the Green Bay Packers. They've been playing well. They split with a win and a loss. I mean, they're just a good team. They got a good roster. They play good. They're in all the games. They don't get blown out. So, I mean, still a good team. I wouldn't want to face them in the playoffs, especially going to Lambeau where it's cold. Number 6, you got the Baltimore Ravens. That's exactly where they were. They win the past 2 weeks. I mean, Lamar's an MVP candidate. That's who would get my vote today if we were voting for MVP. I mean, he's putting up unreal numbers. People want to talk about Josh Allen's numbers. Go ahead and take a look at what Lamar Jackson is doing with the Ravens. He's got better numbers than Josh Allen. The Ravens are playing good. Lamar's playing good. You got to keep them at number 6. At number 5, the Kansas City Chiefs. They kind of figured it out. They're playing better football right now. They won the past 2 weeks, so we're not going to move them up or down at all. But they are playing better football from what I was concerned about in the start of the year. At number 4, you got the Minnesota Vikings. That's exactly where they were last time. They win the past 2 weeks. The Vikings are kind of a serious threat. This defense is good. They got Justin Jefferson. Sam Darnold's playing amazing football right now. I mean, this would be a team that I would be scared to face in the playoffs, if I'm being honest with you. At number 3, we got the Philadelphia Eagles. They dropped 2 spots. Now you're probably thinking, what did they do? Till the drop. I mean, this is still a really good team. If you wanted to argue them as number 1, I understand. The reason I have them dropping is because they lost to Commanders, and the injuries on this team. The uncertainty with Jalen Hurts, we know how concussions are. There's no telling how long it'll take for you to recover from that. So they're going to drop 2 spots. Hopefully, the Eagles are fully healthy for their playoff run because, like I said, they are a playoff team. And number 2, the Detroit Lions move up 1 spot. Lions playing really well. They won the past 2 weeks. Even without David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs fills in. Seems like he doesn't skip a beat. They're getting Jameson Williams more involved this year, something that I think they should have did last year. He's really good. The offense is just clicking. The defense is still playing really well, even in the absence of Aiden Hutchinson. And at number 1, you got the Buffalo Bills. They move up 1 spot. Not so much that the Bills have did much to move up. It's kind of just like the Eagles fell, so we got to move the Bills up. They won the past 2 weeks. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the Bills don't play good football. They do. I just don't know if I trust them in the playoffs. I mean, I think there's serious lack at the wide receiver position. So, I mean, I don't know how effective relying on James Cook and Josh Allen in the playoffs is going to be for them. But when it comes to these power rankings, that's all we got. So go ahead and comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. If you think we've ranked someone too high or too low. But when it comes to this video, that's all we got. So if you enjoyed, please remember to like and sub for more Madden content. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.